Welcome to the Team Broth channel. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to check out Replay, our sponsor, in the description down below. Hello and welcome guys to Callum and Joe's Market Watch, looking at penny stonks and stuff. So Joe, kick us off.
I just wanted to cover some of the cards that have come out of Alliance Insight. Yeah, and just sort of see what cards out of that set
Cool.
would be smart to sort of pick up, right? So the idea is that these aren't cards that are necessarily going to go to the moon or anything, but it's just cards that are underpriced, I think, at the moment. And
Yeah.
I don't know, in 3 months' time, right? After a number of other sets have come out, you'll be happy you picked these cards up because either they'll just be roughly about the same or worth slightly more. Like they could go to zero, and you don't know.
And then may we say as well, that does not mean to buy the cards. So nobody buy the cards. It falls through the floor and then sue us, right? You heard it here first. That's our disclaimer.
Yeah. We do not give. We are not stockbrokers. We're not giving you stock advice.
We do
Don't
not
buy these
condone
cards
this.
if you're not agreed. Yeah.
Right.
Be aware. You can lose all of your money on all these cards.
Right. So what we're starting with, how do you even say this one? The Cursed Thunder God. Is that where we're starting?
Yeah. So we'll just call it Cursed Thunder God. So there's new.
Did you call it the Thirst God there?
Yeah, it is the thirsty god.
Yeah.
No. I think it's just like it's a reasonable card, and its effect is crazy. It's destruction. It's also only.
Do you want to zoom in on it? Can you zoom in on it? Will I allow you?
No, not on card market.
No, it's sad. Oh no, you can see the text anyway.
I could bring up like card clusters, but it's sort of like no. Psychic support's coming out, but I don't even think it's necessarily good for psychics. It's more just the fact that it's a level 11 synchro monster that can destroy stuff, which is useful. The only other level 11 was the Psychic End Punisher, which is kind of bad.
Well, you got the Punk one as well,
Yeah,
with a bounce.
but I think it's only really good in Punk. I understand there's new Punk cards coming out, so this is essentially it's sort of like just pick this up if you're interested in Psychic Punk stuff, but like I don't know. It's a couple of quid, right? We'll move on to the next card.
Yeah.
I think Star Ryzeal. So, preface this with don't pick this up right now. I think my answer for like pick up Star Ryzeal is I can just see in September when the tins come out, right, and all the Ryzeal cards get reprinted. X goes to like £3-4, and they all sort of fall down. The only card that will not be reprinted in that wave will be Star Ryzeal, and it will become a £20 card probably, right? This is just my guess, right? I don't know, but this is my feeling, and it's probably similar to how the Engraver stuff happened. So Engraver was worth all this money, and then Engraver's price falls, and the things that weren't reprinted then all go up. Even Lacrima, Requiem, they all went up, right? So I feel Star Ryzeal is probably just a card that for, I don't know, a euro or two, that it's not a bad card to pick up. So
I think it's, I was so shocked the other day when I went to pick up a Requiem and it was 20 quid. I was gobsmacked. I didn't realize all that sort of stuff has shot up so much. It's actually crazy.
Yeah, it's just what happens where it's sort of like the price, because one card was worth so much of the value of the thing and they didn't reprint it all.
Yeah, just shimmies across.
All the value then just shifts over to another card. It doesn't shift perfectly. Obviously, the reprint helps the price of cards fall, but the value from one card can then just move to another one. So we'll talk about...
Yeah, everybody starts chasing the value one.
Yeah, I think Songs of the Dominators is interesting, right? I don't think it's obviously not as good as the other two Dominus cards straight out of the bat. There's no deck at the moment that can actually play this, which is why it's worth so little. But I think it's just one of those cards that it's like they just have to print a trap deck that's reasonable. Maybe they give some crazy Paleo support, or they print like, I don't know, if they printed two Paleo traps that could both like activate from the hand or be used from the hand in some way, I feel like this card just goes crazy.
Well, I mean, we were speaking about it a minute ago as well. We were saying how it's basically an imperm that allows you to get an impulse as well. So it's like a decent going second option, but also no topping deck lists have tried that, to be fair, recently, or at all. I don't think I've seen.
I think it's just because the Malice End board is so strong at the moment. I think the argument would be something like, I don't need to play Songs of the Dominators in my side deck. I'd rather have a Nib, a Drool, some other hand trap interaction. rather than set up more back row because they already have the banish, they probably have the other Dominus card, and if you set up the full Malice board, you probably won that
Yeah,
game
makes
anyway.
sense.
I feel like the point of the Songs of the Dominator card would be something along the lines of it could actually probably be used in a deck that maybe has a lower ceiling than Malice, and post side it could be used in the case of like you would set it like a normal trap in a deck, like let's say Mitsu Rizal, or sorry, Pure Mitsu, right? In Pure Mitsurugi, you could put Songs of the Dominator in your sideboard, and then what you're searching for another Dominus card. Um,
To get impulse, isn't it?
yeah, it I just don't think
Which does feel very
yeah.
nice.
It also is the nice thing is because the card's going to be out, like the lifespan of the card will be quite long. So it shouldn't fall into the reprint window for the tins that are coming out in September. And because it's not going to be in those September tins, the lifespan of this card is quite long. What I mean by that is the card's going to be out. People are going to be able to play it, and the length of time between now and when it gets a reprint is going to be quite a long time. You're more likely to have this card find a window and a format where it can be good than not. But I don't know. It is one of those cards that it's like it could just keep falling. It could keep falling and fall all the way to 3 because if no one's playing it, then why is it worth anything? But I don't know. It's a card to think about. The next one is the other. I want to call it a staple card. It reminds me so much of like it's duelist, Rise of the Duelist, right? Rise of the Duelist introduced Forbidden Droplet, introduced Triple Tactics talent, right? This card kind of feels
Yeah.
like that, only it's more specific, right? It's the best flu card ever printed. The only problem is flu sucks.
Yeah, rest in peace, Flu.
Do you want to know what's actually crazy? I didn't actually realize this until I just reread it there. But you can actually like go main phase 1 Gordian Slicer, main phase 2 Gordian Slicer.
Oh, that's fair. So, like, yeah, so you can actually thrust it into this card. I was thinking it's not thrustable, but you can thrust, but you just have to break in main phase 2.
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of nice that it says or two. The card does have problem. The card does have many problems, though. You essentially need to be playing a Pot of Extravagance deck, a deck that doesn't care about its extra deck.
Yeah,
The pure Mitsu deck that got top 4 was playing 2 of it in the sideboard, I believe.
yeah,
And I feel like a deck like Fire King could also play Gordian Slicer.
yep,
So I know it's playing Pot of Extravagance, um, but if it needed breakers going second, your consistency should be bumped a wee bit. But I don't know. It's a breaker that the Fire King deck could maybe use.
yeah,
And
I
I
can
don't
see
know.
it.
Hypothetically, also Regenesis, because if Regenesis doesn't technically need to use its extra deck, and it can sort of use that as a resource, and if it can use Gordian Slicer to like break the board and then get your Regenesis loop going, then you'll be put in a situation where you can benefit off the fact that all your Regenesis cards come back to you in the end phases. Or is it I don't know, they come back to you in your next turn, right? So you get all them the cycle back. I feel like this is a really good board breaker and just will eventually become worth more. Whether it's a case that it's like an Ultimate Slayer and it's not used for like a long time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Another card, and these are just a couple of cards that have actually sort of climbed a wee bit or just in like a reasonably high price point. So if you're not aware, in the OCG, they have got the Justice Hunters cards, and they're playing with K9 and Vanquish Soul. So Vados is actually used in the OCG to pop field spells, and the Vanquish Soul deck gets a new field spell. Yummy plays a field spell, and so does Malice. So three of the big threats out there. The only deck that doesn't have a field spell out of the sort of big four in the OCG at the moment is Dragon Tail.
yeah,
So Vados is either like a one of I've seen in the main deck or like two of in the side. It's a dark for your Vanquish Soul cards, so it's got loads of benefits in that deck. The problem I see with this card is actually it's a card that's been around for quite a long time, and will have one event where it's like really high priced, and then it will hopefully get reprinted in the 2025 tins because it's the card out of Phantom Nightmare. It's probably going to fall into that reprint window where it's going to get hit by the tins. So honestly, if you don't have an event before the tins get reprinted in September, in which Justice Hunters is legal and you've got your Vanquish Soul deck or whatever with this card in it, to be honest, I'd just wait. Card is probably going to fall down and not be worth as much. I don't know. Cards go up, but they go up because people see them in the OCG. You need to be aware of, could the card get reprinted? Is it in the right reprint window stuff? Like, that's all important when you're thinking about cards.
Yeah.
Another one's Blackout Laughs. This is primarily used in the White Force deck. So I think the Blackout Laughs is essentially just a detonator route. So the idea is that you can like pitch this and then trigger it in grave and then call your detonator. And that then stuns out the detonator for the turn. It doesn't matter. It's quite nice. It's like a seals ban almost. So you can like seals ban the detonator, and then you're like, oh cool, I don't actually care. And it's actually probably similarly good actually into the Mitsu deck. If you can get Blackload's Laughs set up early enough, you can call your Mitsurugi Ritual guy, the one that comes up and blows up the board. You can call the name of that guy before they can activate the effect, and then you're like, oh, cool, I'm protected from that, so you can't activate that effect. So I can play into a board wipe that you can't fulfill, which is quite nice. This card is the same thing in the sense that it's sort of like, you just sort of want to sell this before it's going to get reprinted in the tins in September. And sort of not now is the time, if you're not thinking of using this card, I'd probably just get rid of it. You're not at a point where it's sort of like it's people are all aware that cards are going to sort of fall, and
Yeah.
you can get rid of it now safely 4 months ahead of time. And I can't really think of anything on the horizon that would make it climb anymore. It's just going to hold this sort of price, and then you can just sort of offload this card. I feel like it'd be a good one to move if you can. This is a number monster that the Vanquish Soul Canine deck uses. It has the ability, the rules, the effect on this card is kind of crazy. Negates activation, halves life points. The card's actually nuts. It creates a scenario where if you're the Vanquish Soul player and you resolve this card, you've kind of won the game against a Malice player, because they'll be put in a scenario where they don't have enough life points to keep on sort of burning, and you're going to Borg or burn them again, and it's this card's really, really good. The way the Vanquish Soul deck's actually able to get this out is quite interesting. They use another card that we're going to go over, Nesh Knight. This card essentially climbed just because of its representation. The OCG, it's got one print. It's like 10 years old. This is the problem. I feel like this is interesting, though, that it's like, if Konami would pay attention to card prices and stuff, I would wish and pray that they would put this as a common in an OTS pack, or even just be like, oh, we'll throw this in as a super in like a set or something, and just like reprint it in Battles of Legend or something would be really nice. But
You can hope.
yeah, hopefully. Another card is Ally Justice Quarantine.
This is a true penny sunk, this one.
Oh yeah, it's worth like actually nothing. I was looking on Road to the King, just through different deck profiles and stuff, and I saw this. I think you've seen also talked about it as well. This card is, it's just really, really good. I think it's a pure counter just for Yummy though, because all their stuff's light. You can just sort of slap this on the board, and I think as long as you can sort of play with your extenders and special summons and stuff, it's just a really, really good stun card.
Is there any specific way to get this out?
Not that I'm aware of. Yeah, no. I think the idea is just you just draw this. It's also used in the Vanquish Soul strategy because it's a dark. So the idea is that you can reveal it as a dark attribute for your Vanquish Soul stuff if you need it.
Yeah. Isn't Nib light as well? So like normal summon this. It's actually kind of funny.
Yeah, you can normal summon this and then like hard commit into like a nib and sort of not lose out.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pure sort of penny stonk, like you said, to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Another card I want to go over is Nesh Knight. This card has gone up quite a bit, actually. It's interesting. It's not showing me. It doesn't matter. Essentially, the idea is that you use this to make the other number monsters that you want to care about. It's cool because it can also put the material under. So, for example, for the CO4 card, you can put the rank 4 CO4 under this, and then you get the full ability of your guy to burn and negate and stuff.
Oh, so what, Nesh Knight becomes the other guy?
Well, yeah.
Right.
Nesh Knight actually facilitates the whole ability to go through all these different number monsters that are worth so much money, or have gone up quite a bit. It's a super out of Duels from the Deep. That set had nothing good in it except Droplet when it dropped. And then it sort of like randomly has had some cards here and there that have sort of had value. but barely anyone opened this set. You know something? It's probably one of those things where it's sort of like if you had like loads of duels from the deep or whatever in your locals, you maybe like would pick a pack of that over something else now.
Yeah, yeah.
Just because this card is like now money and you're like, oh, if I can get that, that'd be nice. And another one, this is the last card we're going to talk about, Hoppier Squadron. The OCG is playing this, I think, in Vanquish Soul. I saw a list that was showing Hoppier Squadron, and you can use the Holy Sue Vanquish Soul card. And because Hoppier Squadron can like summon itself, the Vanquish Soul card is a level 5, so you can make like a Black Rose on your opponent's turn, and that just seems kind of crazy.
That's kind of crazy. I know obviously they got Baron as well. We were kind of looking at some of the OCG stuff and they had Baron, which makes like kind of a little bit nicer to go into, but
Yeah, like if you look here, like they've obviously gone over Nash Knight and stuff, and then this is the C104 that goes under this guy. Yeah.
anything else worth note, or is that us?
No, I think that's the wrap there. Have a good rest of your day, guys.
Cool. Well, we need some like, yeah, need some cheesy outro music one day.
Yeah, we'll put in some cheesy outro music.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.